Hi. Okay. This is first I'd like to say hi to all my Facebook friends and followers and Oullah fans, all those who are in our group, Oullah Kuku and Ja. That's a different topic that I'll talk to you another day. Um I call this video Oullah Speaks because this is the first time Oullah comes out and speak. And the reason I made this video is because well, before I do that, let me give you a brief background of Oullah. Oullah is my company, and I created Oullah because after I gave birth. So I'm kind of jumping steps right now. Let me try to walk backward. Uh, when you are single, and hi to all the moms out there, when not single, when you don't have kids yet, you think differently and you don't really care about what's going on. You're more like worried about yourself. You're thinking about yourself. Everything is about you. And if you're in a relationship, so it's you, still you, even though you're in a relationship. Then when you have kids, you think completely different. And that's when I started Oullah. After I gave birth to my child, I was looking for clothes so I can get her dressed. I find a lot of stuff out there. There are a lot of things, but I couldn't find most of the stuff that were available. It's more like grown people's outfit shrink for tiny bitty babies. So my child looked like a grown kid, but it's like a tiny grown thing. I don't know if I'm saying it right. So I didn't like the look. I felt like I have a baby and babies should look like a baby. A little girl should look like a little girl. And then as you transition to teenage and adult, you look like your age. So I figured I created a clothing line. That's what Oullah started first of, as a clothing line for girls. And that was my reason. However, as your baby is getting older, you kind of seeing different things. So to all the entrepreneurs out there, and I'm giving hello to you. And it's more like when you create a business, you're trying to solve an issue. And that was the issue I was trying to solve at that time. More like finding the right outfit for my daughter. And as she get older, by 6 months old, I figured, okay, this is the time where I'm supposed to teach her and help her be able to know her ABCs and do all the stuff that she should be learning before pre-K. And that became a different issue, and I try to solve. That's where Kuku and Job, which is a new app my husband and I just released, came in. We also have a free one out there that calls A for Africa. You might want to check it out as well. So we created that, and again, that's a different topic I should talk to you about. I was able to teach her. She was able to identify her ABCs 1 to 10 and shapes, colors by 18 months, which was awesome. Right now she's 2. She's counting in French, Spanish, and English up to 20. We're working on other stuff. Again, that's a different topic. So this is what drives me to create Oullah. Now, reason I come out and speak today, which the video calls Oullah Speaks, is because of what I've been seeing. And that's exactly what I'm working so hard to prevent, but it seems like it just keeps on happening. By that, what I mean is, if you, how do I say it? There's a lot. I'm all about women power, and what I'm noticing is that there's a drive that women power out there going on, and it's more like I'm so independent, which a lot of us tend to misuse or misunderstand. That when you are an independent doesn't mean you don't need help from others or you don't care about having a partner. I know there are a lot of people who are in situations where it doesn't work and they are singles. I give a lot of respect to you, especially if you're raising a child. But it seems like there's a push out there to like, hey, you don't need a man. You can do this by yourself, because it's not that easy. It's not true. It's very hard. And for those who doing it, who raising a kid or more than a kid alone, I give you lots of credit because I have the help of my husband and family members, and it seems like it's sometimes impossible. And it just kind of breaks my heart how it's mostly within the black community. It's like I don't trust me. I know there's a lot of black men that are horrible, and that's not just black men. It's men. Period. Just as you see a lot of black men are doing crazy things, there are a lot of other races that's doing a lot of things as well. It's just the media more like put the spotlight on a black man, because I remember before I met my husband, I used to think, as a, if you don't know, I'm from Haiti. As a foreigner, you see in movies, and all the movies, all they show you of a black man is that black men are drug dealers or gangsters. That's mostly what they show in the movie. They never show a loving black man. So I was like, ugh, I must stay away from them black men because I don't want to deal with no drug dealer or no gangsters. But if I had not opened up and step away from what the media is showing me, I would have missed the greatest man I have ever known. And I feel like a lot of men out there have been cornered in every ways. A lot of black men, either with a female, with job, with everything, and that's not what we as women should step and protect our black men. And that also came to open up to me because I just gave birth to my son, and I feel like as a mother of a boy, this is what he's going to be exposed to, and I am trying my best to make life as easy for him. Again, as women, once we take the black men out, obviously, who's gonna protect us? I know we all think we can do it alone. We do need our men on our side, because a lot of places where I go, if I go alone, first of all, I usually present myself as alone, and the treatment you get after you said my husband is there, it's different because they know you got whoever you're dealing with. No, there's a man there, so subconsciously they're like, I can't really do anything to her because the man's right there. There's a man to protect her. So if if we think, even though society said we could do it alone, you do need that man just being there. And that's why I feel like it is our duty to keep our men safe, to protect our men, to stand behind our men, and do what needs to be done, and protect them. So what I'm saying is, I feel like we women misuse the word independent. I am a very independent man, but as independent as I am, I cannot do all I'm doing without my husband. And if I am here where I am today, it's because of the support of my husband. And again, I'm not trying to come out and say it's all about my husband, because I know we all have different situations, but there are a lot of people who's probably had great men in their life, and because the men don't do what the media said to do, they push that man away, especially when it comes to getting proposed. Some female feel like if you're getting proposed and the man don't give you a big rock, or the man don't surprise you and come up with a bunch of flowers, cars, and then some craziness like you're watching a Hallmark movie, that man don't deserve you. Where you sometimes miss a lot when you could have just dealt with what you got. Every situation is different. Especially, like, for example, my husband proposed to me on a toilet. No joke. I was using the bathroom and dude came out of nowhere, and I was like, what the heck? It was kind of shocking, but it was personal. It was the best proposal ever. Whereas if I had in my mind, I'm expecting him to take me to a fancy restaurant and then put a ring in a champagne, and I'm gonna go, oh my gosh, I love it so much. This would have never happened, and I would have missed the greatest husband. So as the media has a target, I mean, not target, they have a motive. If you have a diamond store, you need somebody to buy your diamond. So somebody has to buy your diamond. You have to sell that diamond in a movie. And when you make a movie where people get a diamond, you want whatever happens in that movie to happen to you. And if you have a flower shop, you need to make sure that you give a man that's always buy flowers, so that people could push their men to buy flowers. That's what the media is doing. And you don't really realize that subconsciously you're like, hey, you gotta do with this. If you don't do this, boy, bye. That's not cool. Look at music, boy bye. A lot of people are screaming boy bye on TV, but they hold on so tight to their men. And you, on the other end, going crazy and boy bye, you lose yours and stay single, and they have their on and dealing with it. So this is why I figured I'd come out and do a little video and talk and tell my supporters, my followers, especially Father's Day is coming. I give credit to all my black men, especially those who stick around and be a father to their child, because it is extremely hard raising a kid without a father, especially raising a black child without a father in this day. And if you look around in all the movies you've seen, every movies, if you paid attention, all the men are like the greatest men. And every time it comes to a black man, the black man either is a cheat, he's a drug addict, he's got some kind of issues, and that's in real life as well. All the black men you see, there's rarely one without a record. So this is all ways of trying to push our black men away and taking it out of the picture. And once they do, obviously they're gonna come for the black women. So black women, if you out there and you love your man, support your man, I give credits to you. I uh, let your men know you appreciate them. That's the big deal. There is a division among us, and that's just so sad because there's so many. When you see a black person, there's like, oh, I think I'm Haitian. I only mess with Haitian. I only mess with Jamaican. Not realizing that when a person see a black person, I don't care if you this or that. I only see a black person, which means you are all African. And I remember when we first came out with A for Africa, someone asked my husband, "Is your wife African?" And his answer was like, "Well, no, she's Haitian, but we're all African." We are all African. I don't care where you're from, where you're not from. We all African. So that's why I figured we need to be unified, because if we either all of us be saved or none of us saved. There's the fact that you think you're better black than that one is insane. And as you could see with all this injustice that's been going on, no matter if you wear a suit or wear a hoodie, you are black and you've been treated as a black person. If you've seen in the movies, I don't know if you paid attention, there's like a lot of tiny messages. Like if you watch movies, the way the black man dies is always so dramatic. And that's just to mentally have you used to it, where when it happens in real life, you don't think it's a big deal because you've seen it so many times in a movie. It's just natural. So this is why I figured I'll just put a video out and kind of see your point of view. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's feeling that way. And for those who are parents like me, and I fear for my son, I also fear for my daughter, because as much as I'm pushing education on her, I don't want her to get influenced by her peers and think, oh, if I don't pop my booty, I don't care how smart I am, or she kind of have to dumb herself down just so she could feel comfortable with her peers who are going around popping their booties thinking that's a new thing. One more thing I wanted to touch was also how what is it again? And as Father's Day coming up, I salute all the fathers out there, all the black men. Again, I respect you all and I love you, and I ask you to keep up that good work. I know there's a lot of pressure on you, but there are a lot of female who do rock with you. We love you and we want you to stay strong and continue to do your job. Sometimes it doesn't matter just being there. I know it's tough for black men to get a job. Again, that's also one thing. Like as far as for jobs, a lot of good jobs, it's not being exposed to us in a regular school. Like my husband is in SD, and I didn't even know anything about SD until I met him. He mostly, when you go to college, they tell you could be a psychologist, you could be a physical therapist. Like they give you the job where you get only paid $30K a year. $30K, if you went to college, to all of those who went to college out there watching this video, you know on a $30K salary, you cannot. It's more like you in a modern slavery, because the amount of money you make plus paying for your student loans and keeping up with the so-called American life, it's virtually impossible. So these were the jobs that's exposed to us, and that we are spending money or borrowing a lot of money to study, yet we can't even afford living a decent life. So, but after I met him, I've known so many other jobs like commercial boat drivers or commercial pilots. I, I fly a lot. I travel a lot. Rarely do I see. I don't think I've ever seen a black pilot. I've never seen one. That's one thing. Or traffic control. These are jobs that's out there, but because we're just thinking, okay, I have a black kid, I'm gonna make sure they play sports. I'm gonna have them sing early so they can become either a superstar or a sport. The chances of that happening is super small. Whereas if you were pushing education and say, hey, you're gonna go to school and you're gonna learn this, push computer. My husband also has a free coding class where he's teaching computer science. You were pushing computers on the kids, like push the STEM program, so the kids could either focus on math, science, technology, or engineer. Most likely they're gonna get a job where they start with at least 80K and moving upward the ladder. So these are jobs that's not exposed to us and we don't know about. And I want our community to step up and be aware, and there's a lot of money out there, so we should get some of it too. I don't want to take your time for too long. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Hopefully I get your feedback and I will maybe come out and talk more about the app, about how we started and the ending. But I'll see how your feedback and your response, then we'll move forward. It was a pleasure again, and again, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, especially to all the Black fathers.